Lady.
Remove all.
Let me do this. Press. We are going to be very brief, 10-20 minutes. We are here to provide updates on the 4,794 properties revoked over non-payment of ground rent from 10 to 43 years. Recall that on March 18, 2025, we informed you of the revocation of 4,794 land titles in the central area, Gariki 1 and 2, Wuse 1 and 2, Asokoro, Maitama, and Gusape districts. These 4,794 properties were among the total of 8,375 land titles on which ground rent was not paid from 1 year to 43 years. We did say then that consequent upon the revocation of these titles, ownership of these affected properties have reverted to the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA. Therefore, as from Monday, May 26, 2025, the FCTA will begin to take possession of the affected properties using relevant agencies of the government. As usual, this will be done without consideration as to ownership of the affected properties. It will be purely in line with the extant laws and regulations guiding the process. Recall too that a grace of 21 days was given to title holders that were in default of payment of ground rent for between 1 and 10 years to pay up or have their land title revoked. Relevant agencies of the FCTA are already compiling records of compliance and non-compliance with these directive and with a view to acting accordingly. It is important to state that payment of ground rent on landed properties in the FCT is founded on extant legislation. It is clearly stipulated in the terms and conditions of grant of right of occupancy, and it is due for payment on the first day of January every year without demand. In March this year, list of land titles in default of payment of ground rent was compiled in the 10 oldest districts of Phase 1 of the Federal Capital City, namely Central Area District, Cadastral Zone OA00, Gariki 1, Wuse 2, Gariki 2, Asokoro, Maitama 1, Maitama again, Wuse 2, then Wuse 2 again, that's Cadastral Zone A08, and Gusape. In the listed district, I said that before, a total of 4,794 land titles were in default of ground rent payment for 10 years and above. As at then, a total of 6,967,980,119 was being owed as ground rent by 8,375 property owners. This contravened the terms and conditions of grant of the right of occupancy in line with the provision of Section 28, subsection 5A and B of the Land Use Act. Consequently, the titles of the properties in default were revoked in March this year. Therefore, from Monday, May 26, 2025, the FCTA will begin to exercise its lawful rights of taking possession of these revoked properties. Thank you. Taking possession and what will happen to the properties when possession is taken. We have the Director Development and Control here. So is of the process. And I'm sure you also want to ask questions as to what has happened, the ones that were given 21 days, whether they have paid or whether there have been any other things done. Director Land is also here to take your your questions. But I'll prefer that we just limit ourselves to this issue here. Thank you.
Gentlemen of the press, as we did say in March this year, a little over 2 months ago, that 4,794 land titles were revoked over payment of ground rent, non-payment of ground rent from 10 years to 43 years. We did also tell you that those properties have reverted to the Federal Capital Territory Administration and that the administration will take possession of them in due course. So that's what we've come to update you, to let you know that as from Monday, the 26th of May, the process of taking possession of those properties will begin. And we gave a grace period of 21 days for property owners who were in default of payment of ground rents between 1 year and 1 day less than 10 years to comply. Some have, some have not. And we are already compiling and analyzing those data to guide decision making on those titles as well. Ground rent is a serious business, and any property owner is expected to pay it as at when due. And as we've talked before, we've explained before, it falls due on the 1st of January every year without demand from the administration. So for now, those 4,794 properties which were revoked in March this year, the administration will begin to take possession of them as from Monday, the 26th of May, 2025.
Once again, good afternoon and thank you. As an agent of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, come Monday, we are going to commence the process of possessing these properties by the Federal Capital Territory Administration. This includes reconnaissance visit to the areas affected and the properties concerned, and then serving the seal notice as well as sealing the premises. So in a nutshell, we'll go around the districts and the affected properties to be sealed as appropriate. Thank you. There is no clear distinction between sealing and taking over because it's the same thing. Now the owner of the property say, seal the premises for me. So no more utilization by any other person. Whoever does that is considered as a trespasser. So it is the owner of the property say, seal the premises for me. That's all. So sealing and taking possession is as good as the same thing in this context.
And what next?
By the FCTA administration.
So if families are living in those buildings, how do you do that? You will check them and see.
They have been given adequate time by way of notice over 2 months now that the properties have been taken over by the FCTA administration. So it is expected that within this span of time, they must have made adequate arrangement for their relocation.
What the FCTA was losing as a result of non-payment of ground rent. A total of 6,967,980,119 Naira was being owed by 8,375 property owners as at March 2025. So that's the figure. Then, on the question relating to how many have complied, I would assume you are talking about the people who are given
21 days.
21 days. Yes, there have been substantial compliance. People pay every day. Even as we are here now, some people are paying. But like I said, the compilation is being done and it will be analyzed. And the people or any property owner who has not done what he's supposed to do with respect to payment of ground rent will have similar action taken against him or her. So we have not finished the compilation. When we finish that, we'll also let the public know. Any person is free to go to court on any matter. We are talking of non-compliance with ground rent payments as stipulated both in the various laws and in the terms and conditions of rent. The properties have been revoked, and to my notice, there hasn't been any one that has been reinstated by the courts as of today. So until that is done, there is nothing much I can say. Thank you.
You have not also informed us about details of those who went to court anyway. But action had been taken, and there was no court judgment, order, or directive saying that the action should not be taken. So if eventually there is now a counter action, the directive or order or judgment by the court, if of course the FCTA will comply. Where the FCTA is a law, is an agency of government that follows the law strictly. So as we are today, there's no pronouncement by the court that says those revoked properties should be reinstated. There's none.